Okay.
So don't,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Just wave it around.
Or
Or
don't
lose
take it,
it.
yeah, or leave it loose.
Yeah.
The audience has to be, absolutely.
You can go
Smart
home and
move,
enjoy
Alex.
the.
I'm glad you thought of that.
Yeah. I'll take all the credit.
Just exhausted lately.
I might just go up for
Okay,
fireworks on
everything going on.
Saturday too,
Yeah.
but definitely go up on Friday night. Yeah, we have the neighborhood event. Couples moving out of it, going to assisted living.
Oh, are they?
I'd like to call to order the Mount Olive Township Council Conference Meeting of July 9th, 2019. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of reflection in honor of those that defend our freedoms. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michelle, can you please read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Roll call.
Mr. Amianda. Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labow.
Here.
Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nacastro.
We have one presentation, the Mount Olive Community Fellowship. If you wouldn't mind, go to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Did you say address too?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Bianca Roman. My address is 134 Sowers Drive, Hackettstown, New Jersey. I am here on behalf to represent Mount Olive Community Fellowship. Just a forewarning that my dad has no idea what I'm saying either, so it's a surprise for everyone. I don't think he really knew it was coming either. So let me begin. So Mount Olive Community Fellowship's mission is to focus on creating a better Mount Olive. We would like to achieve this through community service, being an organization to turn to when services are needed, and or bringing about awareness whenever it may be needed. Mount Olive Community Fellowship would like to propose a social service pledge that our local businesses and public officials will be active in implementing a positive culture that cultivates social service as a norm here in Mount Olive, making the process easy, effective, and fun for all. With this, we would like to create an email list where we can contact businesses and representatives of Mount Olive so we can gain momentum in spreading the word of what Mount Olive Community Fellowship stands for so that these individuals can get on board with our pledge. With this, will include things such as a monthly newsletter through email that will inform our community champions on what we and our other community partners have achieved so far, and with your generous support, what else can be done to help. So I'm going to turn it over to founder Bobby Yazdi to finish.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bobby Yazdi. My address is H6A Henson Village. And I just wanted to thank each and one of you for coming in today and taking the time, allocating time for us to come and present. I also want to especially thank City Councilman Alex Roman for so generously supporting sponsoring our carnival booth this year. So thank you, Alex Roman, Councilman Alex Roman. I also want to especially thank President Joe Nicastro for featuring an article about us in the Mount Olive Life. So he's not here, but thank you. So what inspired me and my co-founder Maya to be here to implement this project, Mount Olive Community Fellowship. When I graduated from high school in 2017, I took 2 gap years. For my first gap year, I spent a year in India with an organization called Global Citizen Year. I was awarded a $32,000 scholarship, and the program started at Stanford University and was very well intentional for young people to become the leaders of tomorrow. And they invested quite heavily in us, the 128 fellows from across the world. For my second gap year, I spent a year in the south side of Chicago working with an AmeriCorps organization called City Year, and I taught 6th and 7th grade math, 12 students, assistant teacher, for about 10 months. So when I came back to Mount Olive, the past 2 years have been nothing but transformative. And when I came back to Mount Olive, my parents, my friends, my old teachers could not believe I was the same person I was in high school. I was much more driven, much more ambitious, and I was taking meaningful strides towards achieving my dreams. Example being, I'm here today, launching Mile of Community Fellowship. But Maya and I, good friends from high school, we realized, wait, we really wish something as intentional as Global Citizen Year and City Year existed here locally in Mount Olive for young people, investing in our youth. And we decided to do a bit more research. So we did some informal research and asked a lot of questions from organizations we identified. And there's two key things that we realized. One, there's a lack of young people at these organizations, and there's also not enough people to actually work on the projects that these organizations want to work on. So, to us, that was kind of like a very big sign that was saying there's a lot of we have to keep going. We have to do more research and learn more about why this was. So we decided to identify 3 organizations out of the organizations we informally researched: the Mayor's Office, the Senior Center / Health Department, the Land Conservancy of New Jersey, that we could actually build an 8-week program around in the summer for young people to volunteer 2 2-hour sessions a week for about 8 weeks in the summer. And I can explain more about why it's only 8 weeks and only for the summer later. But the 3 organizations, as I said, are the Land Conservancy of New Jersey, this Health Department, and the Mayor's Office. So with the Land Conservancy, I'll start with the Land Conservancy of New Jersey because that's one's going the best. We have gotten 2 plots of land donated to us. We've gotten plants and seeds donated to us. We've actually planted the plants, and we're going to be donating all the foods to a local food pantry at the end of the fellowship. We're also going to be doing organizing service projects at the community garden, which are going to be, as Bianca said, our philosophy at the Mount Olive Community Fellowship is fun, easy, and efficient. That's our philosophy. That's how our events are going to be ran. We're also going to be doing educational campaigns that are going to focus on reducing waste and increasing recycling in Mount Olive. 2 big issues wherever you go in the world. And we're also experimenting with the idea of grow your own garden at home and donate 20% of your produce if you'd like. So kind of like talking about the how easy gardening is at home, and actually saying, hey, if you garden, would you like to donate some of your produce to a food pantry? With the Mayor's Office, some of the projects that we identified and are taking meaningful strides towards are volunteer outreach events, community engagement projects. One big thing that was actually proposed by our amazing coordinator, Caitlin McNally, was the TEDx Mount Olive, bringing back TEDx Mount Olive and giving young people and everyone the opportunity to be able to share their interesting takes on life. Gathering info about a community engagement fund that we can go into more detail later, if you'd like, as well as conducting research and surveys and presenting the info to the Mayor's Office. And actually, if there's an area of exploration, actually working on some projects that might come from the research and surveys. Another one of our partnerships, our community partners, are the Senior Center. Some projects that fellows want to immediately work on is arts and crafts and assisting in other fun activities with seniors. Senior art show. We actually have people who are very talented artists who would like to come and just do a session of painting with seniors. Teaching seniors how to use email and surf the web. So, I'm sure you all got an email about us doing a session for how not to get scammed. We're not experts. We're not going to do that. We're literally just going to say, hey, this is how you read your email, how you surf the web. And potential exercises, which are going to be led hopefully by Elizabeth Wooster and Khalid Alston. Elizabeth Wooster and Khalid Alston both are exercise science majors. They like to do good for the Mount Olive and for seniors. Khalid Alston is actually a certified personal trainer. So for some risks and analysis. So I realize that some of our projects are ambitious, and you might be wondering, how are we going to be doing this? And how are we going to do arts and crafts? How are we going to gather the people to come and actually work on these projects? So some background information, we actually just had our orientation on July 5th at the library. We had 26 people present, including myself, talented people. For some more background information, we have the president of the student council as one of our fellows. We have the president of class council, treasurer. We have the president of the New Jersey Association of Student Council as one of our fellows and coordinators. So we have a very talented group of young people who want to do good. Now, how are projects going to be implemented? So we've gotten reasonable amounts of donations and commitment for donations from Walmart, Wise, Lowe's, Michaels, and other businesses. We're also going to be giving presentations and reaching out to give presentations in the next week and a half to local religious groups to talk about, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. If you'd like to do good in Mount Olive, this is a form, Google Forms that we have you can fill in and talk about your interests and how you would like to assist us. We're also going to be heavy on data and facts instead of assuming. A lot of young people my age, myself included, assume. We're trying to not do that, and we're going to ask a lot of questions. We have young people with lots of time. So one other thing that we realized by doing informal research is a lot of people who are involved in these organizations are about older, tend to be a little bit older, on the older side. They have full-time jobs. They have a full family to take care of. Young people don't. Young people can go around and give presentations. They can't spend 6 hours, 8 hours a week helping organizations. And also we're going to be running through frameworks of how, why, next steps, risks, constraints, who do we need to get on board, and what do we have to do to get it done. That's something that we're big on in Mount Olive Community Fellowship. Also, some other organizations. So again, some people, young people and members of the community have asked, okay, how did you, why this? Are there any organizations that are doing something similar? The question is yes. 3 organizations that I personally know the founders of are the Global Citizen Year that I mentioned, Global Health Corps, which the organization won 30 under 30 Forbes in 2016 or 17. And Harvard Kennedy School project led by Allison Dorsey. And what they literally did was they paired people who wanted to work in government with governors who just ran and just won, and they paired them for 2 months, and magic happened. They wanted to get experience, and they were exposed to opportunities. And one thing that all these organizations have in common is they all took the extra steps to make sure integration happens. And finally, we're getting to the meat of it. What we exactly need from you is we're simply requesting for a staff member from the 2 organizations, the government organizations that we talked about, the mayor's office and the senior center, to act as a mentor for our fellows or coordinators and meet simply for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes every week and a half, 2 weeks. To get updated on what the fellows are working on, what the coordinators are working on, as well as giving them guidance about, because they're key informants. They've been working in that field for a very long time. We're young people. We would like to have guidance, and we would like them to share resources, and we would like to share them updates on what we've done in the past week and a half. And it's a great opportunity for our coordinators and our fellows to be exposed to the health department and officials in the government, because a lot of our fellows actually want to go into government. And one other thing that we're requesting is because we're young, we're going to make small mistakes. Young people, we're learning. We just hope that you're kind enough to, accept our small mistakes. And then resources and mentorships. And I will lastly close, finally, after 15 minutes, I will close by saying our mission, which is mobilizing the community to social service and to make an MO better for everyone by making the process easy, efficient, and fun. And one thing that I like to say is cool. We like to get the sports teams involved in what we're doing. And why are we good? Many reasons, but a short list of why we're good for the community is we're helping already established organizations actually fill the gap. They don't have enough people to work on the projects. We're bringing in the people who have time to work on the projects. And also, we're giving young people the opportunity to explore their interests. And when I was talking informally with some of my friends who've gotten very, very impressive internships, the biggest thing that they said is they started young. And if someone, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they're spending their summers in Mount Olive, they couldn't get an internship, this is an amazing opportunity for them to be able to get the experience, to secure an internship the next summer. I would like to also close this by saying thank you so much for taking the time and allocating time for us to give a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate you for your enthusiasm. I don't think when I was your age I was doing anything half as good. Now, you mentioned that support. Have you identified what you would need from this governing body and or the administration as far as support? Yes. So Bianca started by saying exactly what we needed, which was kind of like a social service pledge to kind of make things more official for us and our community partners. Also, we don't really know who to ask. We're just requesting the staff from the 2 organizations, the government organizations, to act as mentors for our fellows and our coordinators. We know it's a lot of time to ask.
government officials are very busy in this town. There's a lot of work to be done, not many people, but 30 minutes, 40 minutes every week and a half will be absolutely amazing, and we will make sure there's transparency.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we can easily, we volunteer on numerous committees throughout the week, so I guarantee you, you'd be able to find somebody to volunteer. But I know you were in contact with the administration, with Andrew. I saw a couple of memos going by. I think he's still kind of need to iron out as far as, are you an officially recognized organization? Have you filed any paperwork yet?
Right. So we're officially not a 501c3 yet, because I personally and our advisors thought it would be a bit dishonest to raise $500 and then spend that money to become our own official organization, and things might not work out. We might not be able to do it next year. So $500, we thought, it could go to another cause. That's why we asked Kiwanis if we could officially be underneath them. So they would be our financial. Can't remember the correct word for it, but we will give them the money that we would like for them to grant back out to the project.
Okay. Claudia, is Andrew still going to be having administration going to have any more meetings with them? It's just
Yes.
to iron out to see what, because this to me sounds something more that would be in the purview of administration.
Yes.
Where you can
and-
reach out.
Yep, and Andrew has definitely been in contact with Bobby and will be as well, because as far as having someone from the health department and the mayor's office to, work with them, we're definitely willing to do that. So we will absolutely be working with them, and we want to guide them in the right direction, because they have a great, a great thing in mind, and I think they just need to push in the right way.
Right.
And we are more than willing to push them in the right direction.
Yeah, and I guarantee, and once at least you got organization set up, I just send out an email to us, and we'd be more than glad to, either be a unofficial liaison, to make sure we can get things rolling. So does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, one other thing you should also explore is linking up with the Mount Olive Area Chamber of Commerce for the business connections. And Harry Brown and Chuck Aaron are the president and vice president, but definitely link up with those guys.
Absolutely. Thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Ms. Lebo?
Thank you. I don't know if you noticed over in the senior center, there's 2 new computers over there.
Yeah.
We finally got that over. I had asked Andrew if we could get some over there, and Andrew and our IT guy, Scott, made sure it happened. So that I'm glad to know that you're over there helping the seniors out with, trying to get through because so many times there's a lot of things you need to do on the computer, but they don't know how to operate it. So I said, come on, 2, 3 computers over there, we can handle it. And so we did. But I was also going to say, if you ever wanted to, if you have a question about something you can't reach, maybe it's a weekend or something like that, you could probably call any one of us and we'd know where to direct you in a heartbeat, because we've been around for a while. So just feel free. And if you have my phone number, Alex, all of us, just give me a call, give any of us a call, and we'll help you out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Does anybody else have anything? We definitely look forward to seeing more greatness from you. Thank you again for bringing this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, it's been very inspiring to start this in our community. And another thing that we realize, it's a small town, but big hearts. So thank you to each and one of you for taking the time and helping us out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you. All right, the next item for discussion, we're going to move 2 items from executive session to the end of the public meeting. So just make a note of that. Our next item, we have 8 resolutions. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Yep.
Seeing none. We have ordinance for first reading. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, we got 2 ordinances for second reading. Anyone from council? Don't all speak at once. All right, nothing.
Nope.
Old business. Anybody have old business? Okay, new business. All right, we're on to our first public portion. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn to the public meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I now call to order the Township Council public meeting of July 9th, 2019. Michelle, can you please read the Open Public Meeting Act announcement?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Roll call.
Mr. Amianda. Mr. Ferrante.
Here.
Mrs. Labow.
Here.
Mr. Mania.
Here.
Mr. Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Roman.
Here.
Mr. Nacastro.
Okay, we're on to approval of previous minutes. Mr. Ferrante?
I move the approval of the June 25th, 2019 workshop and public meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mrs. Labow.
Yes.
Mr. Mania. Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes.
And John seconded, correct?
Yes, John seconded. He beat me.
All right, there are 15 pieces of correspondence. Does anyone have any questions, comments? And then we're on to ordinances for public hearing. I open a hearing to the public on ordinance number 13-2019, entitled Ordinance Amending Section 3, subsection 1 and 2 of Bond Ordinance number 6-2019 of the Township of Mount Olive in the County of Morris, New Jersey, finally adopted March 5th, 2019, in order to add an additional project. Ms. Labow?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move for adoption and final passage of ordinance number 13-2019.
Second.
Does anyone in the public wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none. Any council comments? Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mrs. Labow.
Yes.
Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes. Ordinance number 13-2019 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the ordinance of adoption as required by law. I now open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 14-2019, entitled, An Ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive amending ordinance number 34-18, which established salaries for the mayor, council, department heads, supervisory personnel, and employees of the township clerk. Can I get a second?
I move for adoption of,
I'm sorry, Mr. Mania.
Go ahead, John.
Mr. Mania, move it.
I move for adoption and final passage of ordinance number 14-2019.
Second.
Anyone from the public? Seeing none, close to the public. Any council discussion? Seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mrs. Labow.
Yes.
Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes. Ordinance number 14-2019 is passed on second reading, and I hereby direct the clerk to forward a copy of the same to the mayor and publish the notice of adoption as required by law. Okay, we're on to ordinances for first reading, with a second reading of July 23rd, 2019. I open ordinance, the first reading, ordinance number 15-2019, entitled, An Ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive amending ordinance number 34-2018, establishing the salaries for the mayor, council, department heads, supervisory personnel, and employees of the township clerk's office. Mr. Stewart.
Thank you. I move that ordinance 15-2019 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and then a meeting be held on July 23rd, 2019, at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders, Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading, and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
Second.
Any council discussion? Anyone from the public? Seeing none, close to the public. Roll call?
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mrs. Labow.
Yes.
Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes. Okay, the next item is consent resolutions. There are 8. Does anyone wish to move any to non-consent? Seeing none, Mr. Ferrante?
Sure, I move consent resolutions 1 through 8.
Second.
Okay. Any council comments? Anyone from the public? Okay, seeing none, roll call?
Mr. Ferrante.
Yes.
Mrs. Labow.
Yes.
Mr. Mania.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes. Okay, we're on for the bill list. Ms. Labow, can you move the bill list?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill list for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, roll call?
Any comments?
Any questions on the bill list? No? Should we pay him? Does anybody have any questions on the bill list from the public? Seeing none, roll call.
Okay, Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes. Any administration, any reports?
Yes, I just have, the Mount Elk Carnival Week begins this week. It's Wednesday, July 10th to Sunday, July 14th. Wednesday is 6 to 10 p.m., Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m., Friday, 6 to midnight, Saturday, 3 to midnight, fireworks at 9 p.m., Sunday, 3 to 8 p.m., and Sunday's also gonna be the rain date for the fireworks. Hopefully it won't rain, but it'll be on Sunday if it does. Parking this year is being staffed by the Wildland firefighters. It is $5 per car per night. Unlimited wristbands are available. They're $35 for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. The Saturday pre-sale wristbands are sold out, not available. That's it.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any old business? Any new business?
I have a new business.
Yes.
Well, I received a wonderful thank you note from Paragon Village, Dawn Pardon, the Director of Community Relations. I was very lucky to be able to go over there 2 weeks ago. I brought flowers and balloons to Mrs. Dorothy Rupeck, I think was how you say her last name. She turned 100 years old.
God bless her.
And I have to tell you, there is absolutely no way this lady looked like she was 100 years old. And it was really cool because I got to sit there. I had lunch with her and we talked for a while. It was just a lovely visit. And her son was coming over that afternoon because they had the antique car show going on, and he was going to take her for a drive in the convertible. So thought that was wonderful. So just want to say, boy, I'll tell you, 100 years old. Whoa. Think we're going to make it?
I intend to.
I hope so.
And Dan, thank you very much for doing that. It's always great to not only celebrate the youth, but
Yeah.
Also the other end of the
The
spectrum.
experienced.
The experience,
The
yes.
youth and the
That's how
experience.
I will call myself now.
Yes, that's if you forget to do something, you just call it an intellectual interlude.
I call it Monday through Friday. Does anybody else have any other new business? Seeing none, legal matters, please.
Thank you. I have a few updates for the governing body. They would be for executive session tonight under potential litigation, attorney-client discussion, and contract negotiations, none of which will require action of the governing body tonight. They're just updates.
Okay, thank you. All right, council reports. Mr. Ferrante, anything on environmental, lake, or library?
Nothing. The library meeting was rescheduled to next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Stewart, economic development, community action.
Yes, the Economic Development Committee today met with Senator Oroho. Great meeting to reach out to leverage our senator to support the business activities and the community activities within our community.
Thank you. Ms. Labo, anything on open space, Board of Health, or stigma?
Open Space was supposed to meet last night, but we didn't have a quorum, people on vacation, so we had postponed that or canceled it. And same thing with the Board of Health, that's going to be in August, again, vacations. And for the Stigma Committee, we're still trying to post everything we can on the website with all that. And I just wanted to add on to John's committee report for the lake. I just want to say I'm really proud of our town. We've been so proactive in testing our lake and, you know, making sure that we're taking care of all the problems. It's nice to know that we're in good shape, and it was retested to make sure we didn't have anything. And I was very fortunate to see that big, whatever it's called, pulling out all the weeds and everything on the lake. That was,
Oh,
did
the
you get to
harvester?
see? Yeah, the harvester, thank you. That was really
Harvester.
interesting.
Weed harvest.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'd asked them if I could use it. They said no.
No. But anyway, so that's, anyway, I was just really proud. We've been doing a lot of work keeping our lake nice and free of contaminants and so on and so forth. And I, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Maney, anything on legislative or planning?
As Mr. Stewart indicated, we met with Senator Oroho today, and it was a very successful meeting. Planning Board, we have Thursday night meeting, this coming Thursday.
Thank you. And I have nothing on recreation or pride. So we'll move on to the last public portion. Does anyone from the public wish to be anything on the record? Seeing none, close to the public. Mr. Mania, would you move us into executive session?
Before we do that and they leave, just compliments to our two guests today for the Community Fellowship Program. Well done.
Thank you.
Very nice, yeah.
Unfortunately, at this moment, I need everyone to clear the room. Mr. Mania, can you move us into executive session?
Thank you, Mr. President. According to Section 7 and 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, I make a motion to move into executive session to discuss Combi-Phil North redevelopment agreement and the medical marijuana, noting that the minutes will be available upon conclusion of the issue.
Okay. Can I get a second?
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 And may I just add, under potential litigation, the 57-acre tract of land as well, and there will be no action after the executive session.